What's up, YouTube land? It's your boy. So we're gonna finish off Dino Crisis today. Probably not in this part, but in like the next part of the video. So here's my question of the part. If you are one of the people that is not currently going to work, I mean, I assume I'm gonna have this up at least in the next week or two. By the way, I upload everything like pretty much the next day after we do them. It's just that I only put like one video up. I'm sorry, I only make public one video a day, maybe two, just in case there's a period of time where like we suddenly can or whatever. What was my point? Oh yeah, have you been dressing up like you would normally be going to work, like wearing like decently nice clothes, or have you been bumming it? I've been bumming it, and I don't care because
I always wear the same stuff around the house, but I have been shaving and stuff.
Being able to go to work, because obviously no one sees me, and wear like a size 3X shirt and like athletic shorts, it's pretty cool. Like I know T-Rut. Is this a battle? So I know that I could technically go to work like that because no one would tell me otherwise, but it's like, you know, you gotta look at least somewhat nice or else people will be like, what is this? But now it's like, bruh. And the few times I have to like walk out or whatever, I'm like, deal with this size 3XL tie-dye shirt I'm wearing. Deal with it, my friends.
Yeah, I can't bum it that much. Also, hey Regina, you think it would be a good idea to just like, you know,
shoot it in the head,
shove your shotgun up his head and blow out his brains right now? But no, I'm sure we will not see this T-Rex anytime.
And the funny thing is, like, even if this was a newer game and you tried to do it, it would like not like show anything.
Oh right.
But it's like, yeah. Oh, it's unconscious. Well, that's fine. It's not like it's been following me this whole time anyway. Yeah, I would just put as many grenades and shotgun shells into it until I'm like, I think it's not breathing.
Yeah, it's not even like asleep. It's like it's blacked out. Like it got like a electric fried to the brain.
You could literally like put the shotgun in the mouth and point up, and I don't know if like one shot would do it, but like at some point it does have a friggin' brain, so it would be, you know, okay at some point, but just like horror movies have a certain logic, horror games have a certain logic. Oh, by the way, George the other day was like, when are you gonna do Dino Crisis? Like,
really?
Yeah, I forget why it was brought up, because we were talking about, I was talking about RE3 and how it has like the Resident Evil 3 remake and how it has like no puzzles. And he was like, you know what game has a lot of puzzles? Dino Crisis. When are you gonna do that one? And I was like, my friend, maybe we are right now. Which, by the way, Trevor beat Resident Evil 3 Remake. I'm like 5 minutes away from beating it. I let him borrow it before I did that, because I figured...
Yeah, no spoilers since it's so new, but it is okay. It is not egregiously bad. It's not fantastic either. It exists.
It's funny, because people loved the Resident Evil 2 Remake, but I felt very similar to the Resident Evil 2 Remake as I do Resident Evil 3. My disappointment with Resident Evil 3 Remake, I think I said this last time, is that it, like, just doesn't really have enough. Like, it's not a long enough game, there's not enough, like, random nemesis parts, whatever. But my thing about Resident Evil 2 is I was like, I beat the first, like, I think we chose Claire first, and I was like, man, I really enjoyed that. But I was like, oh, I can't wait to see how different Leon's is.
Yeah, I feel
and it wasn't.
You know how, like, the original Resident Evil 2 obviously saved Mixer X for the B playthrough?
Yeah.
I think if they saved their load and didn't want to shove that in your face immediately, it would have made the second playthrough so much more fun.
I don't, like, the second playthrough had, like... So Leon A compared to Claire B is, like, 60% the same in the first one, but in the second one it's, like, 95% the same. Like, there's some unique areas, but really not that much. So, like, when we were going through, like, the second part with Leon B, like, once I realized it was almost the exact same thing, I, like, instantly lost all, like, you know, wanting to do it.
Yeah, I didn't even finish my second playthrough. Like...
It was just exactly the same.
Yeah. It's, like, the only thing that they surprised you on...
Walk, 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 walk.
Like, they changed up where Mixer X is, and he shows up sooner, but that's like the only surprise.
Yeah. I will say...
What?
Oh, is this the hallway? Yep. The third energy hallway.
You remember a lot about this game that I just don't remember most of anything past the first half.
Yeah, this is like the very end of the game. Like, once you get past this, it's like the very end of the game.
This vortex must be the side effect of the third energy experiment.
A nice doubloon. I don't know why you had it, but...
So how are we supposed to get around this thing?
Either we find a way or we both end up as Dino droppings.
Not funny.
Oh, phew. I have like an open drink next to it. I'm like,
Don't pull up
whoa!
any relevant data on the computer.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Regina,
pretty far
you
away.
search around for any possible clues or leads.
Backtracking. So, I do like in the Resident Evil 3 remake how you play as Carlos more often. It feels more like an actual secondary character. I completely understand their decision to make him more of like a normal person than he was in the original game, because he's like super silly in the original game. I did not expect him to be like, oh, the foxy ladies think so.
Yeah,
like, I did not expect that, and that's fine.
He's also just kind of a guy.
Yeah, he's not...
He's not evil. He's kind of good-natured. He says some weird one-liner, kind of.
Wow, they're back.
Hey, buddy. Is the other one in there too? Please. Please. Okay.
Nice. Yeah, like in the original Resident Evil 3, he's like a ridiculous stereotype. Like, which it is what it is. Like, it's over the top and just silly. But he's memorable. Like you can remember a lot of the things he did and what he said, and where he's just like in the middle of a zombie invasion, and he's like, oh, the foxy ladies. But in this one, he's just like a mercenary, and he's, like Trevor said, he's a good guy, he's fine.
And he says some like lady pickup lines sometimes, but they feel really out of
I don't
place.
remember any. I mean,
he says like two or three like ones that are just so generic.
Wait, what'd you just do there? Oh, you're doing that. But yeah, it was cool being able to play like for a longer period of time. It was pretty neat going through the police department again, but this time with Carlos. Like, that was pretty cool. And I'm not mad that they changed stuff. Like, changing stuff is fine. I'm just mad that it was like so linear the way they did
trying
it.
to figure this out.
Yeah, F this. I know I used to, and it was like ridiculous. That's not what I would have guessed. Oh, right, and then that. Oh, no. What? Wait, is the left side done? No.
No. Do you see on the left side that you have the inner, like, mix the two together? Like, if I go to the left over here.
Oh, okay. I see. Wow. This would be one if you just tried to figure it out that you would spend, like, at least a half hour on.
No, I'm doing this on the fly.
Yeah.
No! I have to do that all again, because I was trying to be fancy and show Spencer things.
Rip. Yeah, I don't mind stuff being changed. I know that some people, when it comes to remakes of stuff, that they, like, are really hardcore.
Yeah.
And they're like, this was changed. Like, that's fine.
I'm fine with things being changed for the better, but for instance, the clock tower just turning into a fight with Nemesis is very disappointing.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap. They, like, literally don't even have the clock tower. It's like, dang, dude.
And they changed Nemesis' second form to just be a William Birkin clone, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the game. The more I think about it, the more negative it gets.
Again, I'm fine with them changing stuff, but, like, I feel like you only see Nemesis in his, like, standard form for, like, two or three times, and then all of a sudden he's, like a, I don't know what you want to call him, like a cat, like a big cat or whatever.
Like a big dumb dog.
Yeah, dog or whatever. And it's like, okay. But, like, he doesn't turn into that in the first game till the very end. Even in the acid fight, right near the end of the game, he's, like, a normal looking, like, I don't know what you want to call it, humanoid creature or whatever. And the thing that I liked about Nemesis so much is that, like, he, oh, I see. Okay, cool. Wow, I never would have figured that out. Is that he is kind of like, just like a big, you could see him just being a dude most of the game, like obviously a mutated monster, but based off of, like, a person. And it makes you think, like, okay, like, I'd like to know the backstory of, like, who becomes these Nemesis. Like, did you ever think that? Like...
Yeah. Yeah, so, these...
What is this even telling me? Saturday, baby.
So the answer is stabilizer. So get rid of... I don't understand.
Get rid of A? How do you get rid of U?
I'm just too big-brained to explain it to you.
I was thinking maybe you get rid of the 2nd, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 9th letters, but that's not it either. I don't know. But, like, I don't know. That's why I didn't go into this, like, Capcom has been pretty good recently. Like, people like the RE2 remake, and it did it justice and all that.
Also, this place gets so confusing, and you have to backtrack a lot. Like, this unfortunately is like a fact game.
Sorry.
That's all I had.
I don't know what he said.
It said stabilization, or, sterilization happened.
That's why I don't really go into anything being, like, super hyped. Like, even, I really like Last of Us 1, not for the gameplay, but I think as, like, an overall, like, I think as an overall experience, it's awesome. Like, the acting, and the story, and the music, and the voice acting, and all that, and the settings. I just think it's a really cool experience. Although the gameplay itself, I'm not on. But, like, Last of Us 2, I'm, like, not super excited about on purpose. But, yeah. Oh, crap.
Yeah, I'll take that. Whatever it was.
But yeah, I don't know what I was just saying. I got, my mind became melted. But, oh, yeah, like, getting excited for stuff, like, I wasn't even excited for this. I was like, it's a thing that exists, and I'll play it when it comes out. And you know what? Like, the funny thing is, like, the reason I was kind of excited, despite how good or bad the game would be, is Resident Evil 2. We took a Sunday, and it was me, George, and Parker, and we just played it, and it was fun. Like, I can't tell you the last... Actually, I can tell you the last time. It was Resident Evil 7 that I sat down and just, like, played through a game with, like, another person. Like, just... Yeah. What the heck?
Can you guess what it is? I'm sure there's a memo somewhere that explains what's going on. I gotta say, in a game about shooting dinosaurs, you know what first comes to mind? It's solving riddles.
You know, if you think about this, like, who the target audience is, it's, like, not action game fans, but I guess they would know that it's, like, the makers of Resident Evil and whatever, but it's, like, if you want a game where you just blow up dinosaurs, like, this is not the game for you.
Yeah. And, like, they make it actively not fun to shoot the dinosaurs.
Yeah. But yeah, I played Resident Evil 7, Biohazard, Resident Evil 2, with Parker both times, and George for Resident Evil 2. And it's, like, really cool to, like, go through, and even if you pass the controller around, there's, like, certain games that are fun like that, you know? And I find Resident Evil games and horror games to kind of be like that, because, like, if you get, like, off your nerve... Because Resident Evil 2, there was a lot of parts that were, like, so scary, I was like, I need a minute, and I would, like, hand it off to Parker. I played Resident Evil 3 through without taking, like, a break in terms of me being like, I need a break. Yeah, like, I took a break because, like, the kids needed me or whatever.
I've located the main generator of the third energy.
Great. See if you can activate it.
And I also didn't look a single thing up, which is really, really not common for me. I, like, always, like, if I don't know what's going on, I'll just look it up, because I don't really have the patience to be like, I'm going to figure this out. And I didn't a single time have to look anything up, which is ridiculous.
And even if you look up the safe combos and stuff, like, they really don't give you things that matter that much. It's like, oh, side pack for Carlos 5 minutes before you stop playing as Carlos permanently. Thank you.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
But it's like, I can't tell you the last time I played a game and I didn't have to look a single thing up. It's like, I don't know, it might have been 10 years since I beat a game without having to look a single thing up. Resident Evil 2, we had to look up, like, multiple things, even with all three of us, like, being in the room and just being like, man, I just don't know. Like, we've tried everything we could and we just don't know, you know? Or we would have to, like, put it down for a couple minutes and be like, what are we doing, you know? This one, there was not a single moment where I was like, wait a minute. Like, I just randomly found myself at the place I have to be, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And also, it might be a case of, like, you understand how dangerous the zombies are in the 2 remakes, like, initially. Like, the first, like, experiences with the zombies with the RE2 remake is genuinely scary. I mean, there's more, like, scary set pieces, which definitely helps. But when you get attacked, it's like, oh, these are, like, actual legitimate threats. But now it's like, oh, Nemesis comes through your apartment door immediately, therefore zombies aren't scary.
Yeah, I mean, literally 1 second in, and I get what they were going with it. I think the way they looked at it maybe is, this game is not long. If we wait an hour to show Nemesis, people will be like, he wasn't in the game enough. So, like, the only way they could really do it is be like, we need him to be here instantly. Does that make sense? Where it's just like, if he's not in here the second it starts.
Yeah, I also don't understand why they changed the initial scene of Nemesis existing. Like, why do they have to, like, make it Jill being in an apartment and then after some random PTSD dream that she has that doesn't matter?
I thought the game was going to have parts in first person, and I was about to be like, oh, this is really cool. Like, being like...
Like, that initial scene really feels like they added it at the last possible second to be like, yeah.
Oh, this isn't that bad.
No.
One to the right? Wait, no. Oh, what?
Yeah, you're too small brain compared to me.
But the one was facing down, and then it wasn't. Do 2 wrongs make a right, boy?
I don't need any of this crap. Alright, I'm doing this. All those 0 and 1s are button presses for me.
Generator test complete. Remember, a special key card is required to operate the generator.
Gail?
No! The character I cared about!
It's all over.
She's been shot to death. She's not breathing. 1, 2, 8, 1. Convenient.
I hope it wasn't Gail.
Who's that?
Gallium? Well, considering there's like 3 characters in this whole damn game, let's just introduce a new character.
Whoa.
Yeah. You ever think about that? This game only has 4 characters.
Yeah, it's Dr. Kirk and the 3.
Like, that's pretty much it. Anyone else you meet lasts less than 1 second. Like that dying guy.
And what do you think you're doing?
Carving a name for myself.
And what do you think you're doing?
With the ultimate energy source.
Open your eyes, you freak. Your precious creation is nothing more than another weapon to be misused.
You seem to have a small degree of superficial intelligence. It's too bad that it is wasted on one who is about to die.
Base.
Honestly, the best character.
Rick, our target has been secured. Report here immediately.
He also has the person.
Sorry to
voice.
interrupt your lecture, Doc. You were saying?
Yes, I was saying. I discovered how the third energy could affect space if it ran unchecked 3 years ago. I thought that the energy had the ability to transfer selective space to an alternate time-space continuum. But I was incorrect. The space was not transferred, it was exchanged.
Oh, plot dump.
To put it in terms that even you can understand, third energy has the ability to replace a pocket in space with one from a different time.
What?
Yes, I came to these conclusions following this evening's final experiment. You've seen the effects yourself. Those beasts were occupying the space this facility is located on almost 65 million years ago.
Oh.
Right. So that's how those dinosaurs appeared in our time.
Precisely. And that is what I have done.
Uh-huh. And how many people were sacrificed before you made this discovery?
Who cares? The numbers are quite irrelevant. Let's just say that there were many. Extraordinary deaths for ordinary men, don't you think?
Spoken like a true
A god or a devil? I don't care about that. Only my experiment.
Enough. Only one thing matters at this point. Your grand invention is blocking our escape.
You need to destroy the vortex. The only way to do that is to allow the generator's third energy levels to overload. Theoretically speaking, the third energy and the vortex will cancel each other out if they come in contact with one another. But there is one small catch. If you cannot stop the generator's third energy overload, this entire region may be shifted to another point in the space-time continuum.
Then we'll just make sure to be somewhere else when the shift happens. No problem.
But we couldn't even activate the device.
You're missing the initializer and stabilizer, right?
Where are...
Why is it cutting off?
What? That really cut off.
Like, I don't think it's the disc. I think
Calm
it's just
down.
how it's designed.
They should be stored in one of the security level A rooms on
Could
floor
it be
B3.
the fact that the PS3 is playing it?
No, I think it's just like how the audio
Very good,
engineer
Doc.
did it. They just did a lazy
Now you
job.
understand our situation. We live, you live.
Sorry. Also, I love Forever. Oh. Hey, worst character. What?
Okay. I'm all set to whip up a program that will send a stream of third energy into the vortex.
I'll keep an eye on the doctor. Regina, you go find those devices and overload the third energy. Remember, they're in a security level A room on floor B3.
That whole floor is crawling with dinosaurs, including that T-Rex.
Wow.
Let's get this situation under control before charging on. Here, take this.
Take the
The disc contains the draft plans for the initializer and stabilizer.
Gale.
I stumbled over them while searching through the database. Fortunately, the room where the parts are stored is not far from here. We should gather up the parts and assemble the devices.
Don't be ridiculous. Regina doesn't have the technical knowledge for that. We don't even know if all the right parts are there. We'd be better off simply trying to hunt down the completed devices.
It's too dangerous down there. She won't make it.
It's your call then, Regina. You're the one who has to do this. So what's your choice?
So the options are logical analysis of the best case scenario, or Regina's a big baby and can't handle dinosaurs. So yeah, Gale.
Okay,
go!
let's do it.
Sorry.
You
What?
don't drop your guard for a second.
Imagine being such a baby that you follow Rick. Imagine.
I'm gonna go. Avoid these dinosaurs.
No.
So here's the thing that I could potentially see stumping people. You have to use the stupid fingerprint device that you used on Dr. Kirk.
Wow. FC device? Do they give you any hint at that at all?
like when you go back to the one room where I have to overwrite the ID card again, it'll be like, you need Dr. Kirk's fingerprints, and it's like, oh cool, I just have to go back now.
Oh god. I also want to say how much I love the I guess you would call it the trope of scientist who doesn't care about anything but his work. I mean, Resident Evil 2 literally does it. Like, the game, like, made, like, right before this. Where it's just like, who cares how many people died in the name of my science? It's about as based as you can get. See ya.
Yeah, surprisingly, that game on PS4 called Judgment, which is that Yakuza clone, has a plot about a scientist trying to make a Alzheimer's medication, which sounds really good, but he ends up being like a piece of garbage.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like almost like every time, even if like it's like to be expected, I very much enjoy that that trope. Nothing matters but my work, even my life.
Like they try to subvert your expectations by making the scientists really like insecure and sort of very socially withdrawn and quiet. But then like by the end he's just a piece of garbage, just like all of them.
Rip.
Oops. This one I do remember that they show it on the memo. That's where that dead body is that Kirk shot. So it's not from nothing, but it's I hate that type of problem solving.
Where it's like, did you find the memo?
Did you find the memo that you can't keep, and do you remember it now?
Oh, that you can't keep?
Yeah.
It sucks.
You can't keep any of the memos in this game.
Well, yeah, I understand, like, Resident Evil games do it, but you get to keep the memo and you can just go at it. Go find it. You have Kirk's ID card. Based. Wait, was this the part you needed the fingerprint data for? Oh, at least you didn't have to, like, go, like, way to the end.
It's not too bad, but it is just...
I was imagining you would get, like, the whole way to B3 and then be like... cool. At least that's not so bad.
Oops.
Let's do this. Oh, you know what I was reminded of the other day? This game came out on Dreamcast as well. I don't know if it's any better or if it has anything else, but
I imagine that it's just like slightly better textures.
Yeah.
And,
it also came out on Dreamcast.
Like RE2 and RE3 on GameCube.
Yeah, well, and then also RE2 and 3 came out on the friggin' Dreamcast as well. I can't imagine... Oh, no, I can. Because I played Resident Evil Code Veronica on Dreamcast multiple times. I was about to say I can't imagine playing a game like that on that controller, but we did. We made it work.
This matters.
What's that?
It's grenade gun parts that makes you be able to shoot faster.
Yummy.
Which I guess is cool.
Why did they put the cord coming out of the bottom of the Dreamcast controller? Why would they do that? What's the point? What's the point? So, question of the part, since we're on it. What is, out of all first-party controllers out there, what's the worst you've ever seen? We all have seen really bad third-party controllers, and there's a lot of them out there, but stuff that's officially made by the company. I have two that spring to mind right away, and that is the Jaguar controller, because of its size and its numerical keypad, and...
A lot of Atari controllers are just friggin' horrible.
Yeah. And I would also say, even though like 5200 and 7800 controllers are really bad, I would say the Intellivision controller, because you have to do most of the stuff with the keypad. And
is that the one where you can't swap it out for another controller?
Yes.
Yeah, because ColecoVision is like the same controller
as Atari, I think, and Genesis. Oh, hi. I would say probably those.
All right.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Like, I don't know if you've been paying attention to like what I've been doing, but this is just so confusing.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have figured this out. It's like a lot of back and forth and rewriting, and a T-Rex.
That's still here.
That T-Rex got BTFO'd.
I believe Rick's route is a lot shorter, but F him.
Yeah, like, if you had the choice, why are you gonna pick Rick? They could be like, Rick's route is right next room, or Gale's route is you have to walk on a bunch of lava. I'd be like, Gale's route, please.
Alright, so these next couple rooms suck. See ya.
Do you know what that reminds me of? I don't know why, but like imagining like having to go through a route where you're just like going through a room where you're continuously being hurt reminds me of Metal Gear Solid 4. The very end, which like I'll never forget, even though I beat that like 10 years ago, where he's like so dying that he's like crawling like inch by inch at the very end, and he's in that like I think it was a radiation room if I remember correctly. And he like can barely even stand it.
Yes.
Based.
Yeah. If anything, MGS4 got right. It's all the set piece things that they do. It is a cool game when you think of it out of context. It's just there's way too many cutscenes.
If I think about it story-wise, just as a story, I think it's awesome. What? The part where you fight.
I mean, that's another set piece. That's not the story. It's a cool set piece, but the story sucks. It doesn't make any sense.
The one thing I was disappointed about is kind of like the same with MGS3, where I feel like some of the... What are those things called, like the Fury in the end? Do they have a specific like name for like...
Cobra Core?
Whatever, so the Cobra Core. I feel like some of them could have been like explained a little more.
Yeah.
Like they took a lot of time with like the end, but then it's like, I'm the Fury...
like they focus on the boss
Fury.
and Snake.
Yeah.
Which I'm fine with, actually.
I just wish they would have done a little bit more. Even MGS2, like, you hear about...
If anyone wants to read this.
Just pause the...
But it's, like, way too, like, technical jargon for us to actually read.
Like, Fat Man in MGS2, you, like, meet him in the room, and he talks for, like, 10 minutes, and then you fight him. But, like, you know in that 10 minutes all you need to know about Fat Man. No, wait. Does he talks to you on the codec before? I think he does.
I mean...
But you don't know him for a long time, is what I'm saying.
MGS2 is like the same thing, where they really don't flesh out the characters too much, but I think it's fun.
But I don't even remember any of the bosses from MGS4. I remember you fight one in a auditorium, but I think you just meet him like right there, and he might be like a puppet master kind of thing. But like that's it. I wish I could like maybe there's like a Cliff's Notes version on like YouTube where it's just like just the important stuff, like just the cut. No, but even if you watch just the cutscenes, it'd be like 5 hours. I remember one time a cutscene was so long, I just had to like. I think
MGS4 cutscenes more like 8 hours.
Yeah, I remember one of them near the end was so long that we had to just literally take a break and be like, oh, dude, I can't. Like, it wasn't even like we had anything to do. It was just like, I can't watch this anymore. It was just so long. Uh-oh. Oh, that reminds me of one last thing about RE3 that really disappointed me, is I don't believe there's a single part that Nemesis is that isn't preceded by a cutscene. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and he really only has free reign over one single area.
Yes.
And that's it.
Right, and that's and it's like...
And that's like you pretty much explored the entire thing, and then he shows up.
And then it's maybe a span of like 6 overall rooms that he has the free reign in. And in my opinion, like they made him too freaking strong and fast for that to be part of the gameplay. I was like, oh my god. Like, I was like, if he's going to be following me the whole game, every second I would run past him and he would just jump past me and then, like, smack me or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, dude, if I have to do this with the whole game. So the thing is, they made him so fast and so strong and so ridiculous that I was, like, dreading. I'm like, what, is he going to follow me the whole friggin' game? And I'm going to have to do this the whole friggin' game? And you know what? He doesn't. So they just sort of made him like a little less crazy, maybe take away the ability to just jump over you and block your way, and then actually have him be able to show up. But every time I think of him showing up, it's either a cutscene for a boss, a cutscene that's just a cutscene, or like when you first see him in the town where he breaks through. When he breaks through the when you're like walking back and he breaks through the thing, it's awesome, but it's a cutscene. You know what I mean? It's not something that randomly happens. Like it like breaks to a cutscene, and you're like, dude.
And the other really disappointing thing is that, you know, the original RE3, like, knocking him down is completely optional, but you get cool stuff. Like, you get the handgun parts, and you get other stuff.
Do you not get anything?
I killed him once, and I got 6 shotgun shells. Not even kidding.
Yeah, it's not even like a cool, like, oh, I'll knock him down if I can. Yeah, and it's just like, why can't you do... But I guess the reason is you only see him 1 or 2 times where you can actually kill him. Because in the beginning of the game, you don't have enough items to be able to do that, you know? Like in the very beginning, and it's a set piece where you run away from him, you know? So there's really only one time when you're in the town where you can, like, kill him, I think. Maybe twice, I don't know, maybe I'm forgetting
I think you can kill him twice, but that's it.
So, unless they give you, the first time they give you, like, piece A of an amazing gun, and then the second time piece B of amazing gun, it's like, okay, they couldn't even do that. This is lame. I'm sorry, and it's like $60, and like it just feels like it should be 40.
Yeah, and they include that like multiplayer thing. It's like, oh, I guess that's value, but I don't care about it at all.
I think that's definitely what they were doing. They were like, if this game comes out with nothing else, people will complain, but we'll give this multiplayer thing. But from what I understand, no one wants that anyway. So it's like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it would have been really cool if they kept it in dev time for another 6 months and made it like a PS5 and Series X like launch title, maybe, or maybe just had like a PS5 version.
Yeah, I could. I mean, we don't know anything about games for the next gen systems, right? I mean, we're like 7 months away.
Microsoft has already said that they're not really making exclusives for the Series X for about a year.
Cool.
And Sony hasn't even released any games. There's nothing to be excited about. That's loud.
What? Sorry, I have it. I have a feeling that with all this nonsense going on in the world, that that they'll be delayed. I know Microsoft came out and said Thanksgiving, but I just don't believe it at this point.
I don't know.
And the thing is, no one would blame them. No one would blame either company for being like, oh, it's March 2021.
I really think Microsoft, like, if they're planning to do it, they're like probably in production now, and I think a holiday season with potentially no competition and like all the PR they've done so far has been pretty positive for the most part. And people are kind of being like, Sony, what are you doing with the PS5? I think they're going to try their hardest to make this holiday season.
Yeah.
It would be such a good head start. It would be like the 360 and PS3 head start, which defined the generation.
Yeah, I didn't realize till we looked it up the other day that 360 came out a year before PS3. Because all I remember is PS4 and Xbox One coming out on like the same week, you know. Shing, shing. MGS1 LP1, 6 months later.
I'd like to do it. I was thinking about doing Twin Snakes.
The only hard part about that is you would really have to plan it out, because some of the cutscenes are so long, you'd have to be like...
Well, at least MGS1, the cutscenes aren't that long. But yeah, you do have to plan around it a little bit.
Warning. Their energy output is approaching critical
I mean, does everyone agree that MGS1 is the best of all the MGS games? Isn't that a thing that, like, people... Cause
I think in general people say that the gameplay of MGS3 and the story of MGS3 are the best. I personally think MGS2 is my favorite. People really... I mean, MGS1's iconic, but it isn't nearly as beloved as 3.
That's true. I'm just thinking of all the bosses in 1 and how they're just
remember,
amazing.
there's no turning back once it overloads.
Yeah, whatever you just said.
Something about a boom. Boom! Here comes the... I was just I don't know why, but I was just remembering, Vulcan Raven, and I was like, that was a cool boss.
You fool. What was the point in saving me? How pathetic.
Rip. And then I remembered how Otacon is like the lamest character in the history of the world. And how I never understood I forget what the ninja's name is. Grey Wolf. I never understood it because you like literally had to like have played the original Metal Gear games to even understand why, like, what his backstory was and stuff. But obviously in America we only got the dumb versions that sucked. Like, I dare you to beat Metal Gear on the NES. Like, yeah, is it possible? Yes, but will you have a very bad time?
It's
yes.
like genuinely a not good game. Like, it's not even just like, oh, it's the NES. It's a genuine bad game.
I forget if Snake's Revenge on the NES is bad, but the original one is so bad. I really dislike it. But then, of course, the original one on, like, the MSX is, like, pretty good. Like, all things considered for its time period.
So I just came back here for my final save, because we're going to be doing 2 of the endings.
Oh, we're that close to the to the end? Wow. Nice. Probably about, I don't know, maybe 40 minutes into the video, maybe 35. Just in terms of, like, I don't try to go too much over an hour.
Okay, I get it, yeah.
Sorry. Well, even the one Blood Will Tell one messed up, and it was barely over an hour. I don't know if it's our capture card or what. And sometimes it just seems like it's just luck-based. Also, this music.
I don't know why the sound effects are being so messy.
This time it's not the TV. I too run right into Velociraptors. Regina's like, heh.